Thursday, everyone. All right, so happy Thursday, happy Thursday, happy
Hey,
Thursday. Can't ever get the timer down right on this thing, but
hey.
hey, y'all, hey, happy Thursday, and welcome back to another live Q&A with Jerry and Allie. Going, Tony.
I'm Jerry, by the way. How y'all doing out there? IG world, Facebook world,
Hey, y'all, hey.
Alley world.
It's AFG.
Just 1 second, we loading up. But yeah, we got your home buying questions. All we've been asking you guys if you have home buying questions and you have tuned in. And Ali has those questions. She's going to get to those in just a second. But if you have questions, put them in the comments below. And also tell us where you're tuning in from. You know, we love to know
Absolutely.
where y'all tuning in from. Rep your city. You know what I mean? And let's go ahead and get started.
All right, awesome. And before we get started, just want to let you know that we do this each and every Thursday at 6 p.m.
Oh, okay. That's six. That's six.
6. I know we're late today. I had some technical difficulties. But
Oh, yeah.
anyway, we are here. But anyway, every Thursday at 6 p.m. Amazing topics for you guys. So it's something new that we're doing, but we hope that we provide some value. If you ask the question live and we're not able to get that answer for you, then we will make sure that we get it. Hey, Lizzie on IG, Lisbeth, one of our leaders in Novay, thank you for tuning in.
What's up? What's up? Louisville, Kentucky in the
Louisville,
building.
Kentucky.
What's up, Terrell, as
Welcome,
well? Okay.
Simone. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. We only have 2 questions today, but again, like I said, this is new, so we're getting used to it. But let's just go into this. Let's talk about it before we get to the questions. Let's talk about the real cost of renting, y'all, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pass that to you. I'm going to handle the comments. I'm going to pass that to you. So let's talk about the real cost of renting.
What's up, y'all? It's me again.
Hey, Erica.
Erica, what's up? What's up? Hey, yeah. So the real cost of renting, y'all, is really important to understand that. Oh wait, hold on. Let me get Alexa. Alexa, stop.
We are not sponsored yet. Another stream. Anyway.
Coming in. All right. Thank you. So the real cost of renting, y'all, is really important because when you're renting, you don't own the place where you live. Of course, that's the obvious thing. But one thing that we don't understand is opportunity cost. Okay, and that just means that you're putting money somewhere where it could be going elsewhere and you're losing out on that opportunity. So when we talk about opportunity cost, that's what we're going into right now. The real cost of renting. So if your rent is, let's say on the low end, $500. Okay, let's say you've been renting for just 10 years, which is that's typical. The average person stays somewhere between 3 to 5 years, right. We'll say. But 10 years later, after you have whatever situation you were in, you're still at that same place after 10 years. Guess what? You just spent $60,000. $60,000. Let's say your rent, more realistically, okay, because we out here, we're adults and things like that. The real world, your rent is upwards of $1,000 a month, right? Let's say you only did that for 10 years as well. Guess what? That's $120,000 down the drain. $120,000. You could have bought a house.
That's equity, right?
Equity.
Right.
Speaking of equity, what is it? What is equity?
I mean, it's something you own. It's ownership. It can turn back into cash. You know, we talk about this house right here. This house, our house is out. Actually, I love it, by the way. In historic downtown Wilmington, built in 1910?
1910.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all were growing up and watched PBS. This old house.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you were growing up in 1910.
No, they used to be to show me. My dad and my mom used to watch this old house. But I love this old house. So we talk about how when we build our retirement home from ground up, that we're gonna Airbnb this mug out. Hey, that's turning out. That's turning back into money. You can't do that if you rent. So that's just something to think about.
And one more example: $1,500. Okay, your rent is $1,500. After 10 years, that's $180,000 that you could have put down and actually started building equity in your home. Just like she said, you can turn that back into cash. So if you're putting all this money towards your house, some of it goes to the interest, some of it goes to the principal and paying that house off. Over time, you build equity of all the stuff, all the actual principal balance that you paid off. You can actually get a loan based on that equity. Did you know that? It's crazy. Or you can use that money, take that equity that you built up in that house and flip it, buy yourself another house, rent this house out, right? I've showed y'all this in one of our other videos. rent this house out to somebody else, let them pay the mortgage, and you're over here living somewhere else because you took that equity and flipped it.
Right.
But you can't do that if you're renting.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. Well, I'm done. That's my rant.
I love it. So we have two questions that are similar. So first, let me address who hopped on. Hey, Shannon. Welcome to the live broadcast, Millionaire.
Welcome,
Thank you for
welcome.
tuning in. We have Kenyetta. I hope I'm pronouncing your name. She's from Wilmington, from the port city. So thank you for tuning in.
Thank
So
you.
we do have a question from IG that is similar to yours. So we're going to knock both these out at the same time. So Kenyetta's question first, while I pull up the IG question. Kenyetta's question is, do you have to have credit or 600 or a credit of 600? I think that's what you mean. Maybe clarify for me in the comments if not, to buy a house. And then the question, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this one out here to you because it's very, very similar. On IG was, is it true that you need a 720 credit score to qualify for a home loan? And are there other options besides a bank to get a loan from?
Oh, who was that from?
That was from L Boogie out of Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. Oh, what up, Boogie? The natural lady boss.
That's right.
Now, well, let's go ahead and answer those questions because, well, first of all, you don't need credit at all to buy a house if you have cash. Okay? So, I mean, that's one of your answers right there is no, you don't need any credit at all. Is that good enough answer?
Well, but.
Okay, let's give another answer. So, what the
What?
mortgage lenders are looking for is at least a 670, 675 and upwards when you're trying to get a home loan. Of course, you can go lower, but
Down
you're going
to
to be
like not to cut you off. I'm sorry. As low as 580.
Yeah.
So,
but you're going to be paying for that 580, okay?
Right.
The more because you're risky, they're going to charge you more interest. Okay? And if I had another 15 minutes, I'd cover that for you, but you know, even 4% interest on a 30-year note, you're paying for that house 2 times.
right.
Okay, so if your credit is down to 5 something, they're going to push that up to maybe 4.5, maybe 5, and you'll be paying triple for that house
Absolutely.
after 30 years. So you gotta be careful just because your credit score is low. But yeah, you can get a loan 670 in the 600 range, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. FHA has some pretty amazing deals for you.
Right.
I hope that answers your question.
VA also more loans. And we do have actually, for Kenyatta to answer your question, we do inbox me and I actually have another tool that I can give you that can show you how to qualify with, less than a 580. Plus we'll be able to do a consultation for you if that's something you need.
Yeah.
But I hope that we answered your question and thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, and basically just get your score up as high as possible.
Mhm.
720 is ideal. I'm glad that she put 720. That's the
The
ideal.
sun is setting. I'm all
Oh, yeah.
blinded.
All right. Well, hey, I'm about to adjust these blinds so y'all
Thank you.
can see us a little bit better.
Yeah, so while he does that, while he's doing that, let me address some people that hopped on. So hello, Sky. She is a new mommy. Congratulations. Thank you for tuning in. Shalonda,
Woo!
one half of the power couple out of the credit power couple
Credit
out
power
of
couple. Yes.
out of Georgia. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. All right, Lisbeth, again from Kentucky, thank you for hopping on. So she has another question. All right,
Okay.
we'll answer this before we get to the next one. All right, her question is, Ms. Harris says, is the pandemic a good time to buy a house?
Oh man, so we're almost there yet as far as home buying. You know
Almost
why?
there yet.
Almost, that means not yet. I'll put them both together. Almost, but not yet, okay? The reason why is because there's still so much inventory that people are not letting go of their homes. Okay, so as far as quarantine goes and as far as, the landlords are saying, hey, we're going to push your rent out and things like that, those checks are coming due right now. So we're talking about a lot of foreclosures that we haven't seen yet. They're about to happen. Okay, so just I hate to say pray. Yeah, I hate to say pray on the weak, but this is America. This is a capitalistic society. If you're not capitalizing, then you're being capitalized on. Okay, so as these homes go into foreclosure, that's when you want to start picking them up. But people are holding on to them right now, so there's not a lot of inventory.
Right.
So supply and demand says that if the supply is high and the demand is high, then the price is going to be high. Okay, so you got to wait for that demand is always higher. You got to wait for there to be more supply out there. Okay, to driving prices down. Hope that answers your question. Just stay tuned though.
Hey,
You'll know.
Hey, Martell, IG, I think I see you.
Oh, what's up? What's up?
Welcome.
Artelli. Oh.
All right, and L Boogie's on. So welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so
What's up,
let's get
what's
to
up?
the third question, and this one is a loaded question. I hope they remember everything that is in this one. I'm so glad somebody inboxed and asked this one. What is closing cost?
Oh. Oh. That's a cringe word. Closing cost.
So it's a lot.
Yeah, definitely
Honestly, it's
cover
not
that for the
like
people, man. Oh man.
it's not like one lump sum of something. There are multiple things in your closing costs. You know, I've been talking about this week that you need to get a kickstart on your savings. You need to go ahead and start those emergency funds and those things of that nature. Pause 1 second. I just had my spidey senses tingling. Kenyatta, back to you. I hope you're still on. Even though it's not a good time to buy right now, it is the perfect time to start fixing your credit so you can buy that house. Okay?
Absolutely.
So my bad. Forgot to add that one in there. Let me get back to the topic. Closing
And
cost.
we fix credit, by the way. So
I
don't
think
get
they
it
know that.
confused.
I think they know that.
Just for the new people, they need to understand. We got home buyer programs.
All right, closing costs, y'all. Take notes. Take notes. Take notes. Like I said, I've been
Yes.
talking about you need to start saving for these. Because listen, when you think when you think everything is hunky dory, right? And you sit down and you go to sign that paperwork, whew, closing costs rolls up on you. And so let me talk about some things that. Oh, I'm not in the IG camera. Hey y'all. So let me talk about some. Help me remember. Okay. Homeowners insurance is number one. Okay.
Yeah,
You have to have that. Like us, we're on the coast. So, you know, we had to look at flood insurance, hurricane insurance, all this other kind of stuff. But home insurance is definitely one of those. And that is normally paid up front for a year at closing. Okay. It's like one of those things you just can't get away with. That has to be done. What else is in closing costs?
I just wanted to say flood insurance is not included in home insurance. Really important to know that. Some people, they get that home insurance policy, a flood happens, and then they're like, wait, I got flooded out. And they call the home insurance company, and they're like, well, you don't have flood insurance. It's a totally different type of insurance. So that's another key. And there's different zones that say if you're in a preferred flood zone, you might not need flood insurance. But if you're in one of those floodable areas, please get flood insurance separately.
Absolutely.
Go.
So
Titling.
Appraisal and survey fees.
Okay. Yeah.
That one is a jam-packed one too. Now, you know, your realtor is going to, you know, when you get with your lawyer fees and different things like that, they're going to recommend their appraisal people. You always want to make sure that you get your own appraisal done. For instance, let me just be transparent, and this may be a longer live today, but it's good info. Okay, on our first house, we made a mistake with our first house. Okay, not gonna get into all that. Not gonna get into all that, but the value of some of the homes that we were looking, we had an amazing realtor. Okay, shout out to Sherry
Englewood.
Intracoastal Realty. We had a amazing realtor. Okay, she was very transparent with us. But what we noticed is, you know, she was teaching us along the way. This is another reason why I make sure that you have someone that when you find a realtor, you find someone that cares about you. But let's talk about appraisals for a minute. So there was a particular house that was kind of older, not as old as this house, but it was kind of wanted to be a quick sale. So they wanted to quick sell it. You know, they gave their appraisal, but to
short sale.
A short sale, right? They gave their appraisal, but if we were to move into that house, it would have costed us more to make those repairs. Yeah. And that's something that wasn't included in an appraisal cost. So you want to make sure that you have that done. Like I said, they're going to recommend it, but you want to make sure that you have the money for somebody to come out and appraise. They're going to come out and look at your property. They're going to look at the fixtures in the house, all different stuff. What else does the appraiser look at?
I mean, they're also going to look at other houses in the area.
Right.
They do a cost comparison as well. So they're looking at houses that if your house has a deck, the house that you're looking at has a deck on the back, they're going to look for houses that have decks, similar square footage, similar yard space, two-story houses. They're going to compare it to other two-story houses.
Right.
Houses, gas heating versus electric heating. They're going to compare it at least up to 5 to kind of get you that appraisal. But yeah, man, appraisers make a lot of money for what they do, man. Yes, they could do all their work. If you're a really, really good appraiser, then you're on foot. You're in the house. You're measuring. You're doing stuff like that. If you just want to get the job done, you can do all your work just on the internet. I should be an appraiser.
No, you shouldn't.
I should be an appraiser.
No, you shouldn't.
All right.
All right. Let's talk about another one. The taxes. Sometimes there's an option for you to pay up to 6 months upfront. but those taxes hit you out of nowhere. Okay, to be honest with you, just kind of like your car insurance almost. It was a lot higher, of course. You know, your car insurance, you know how that is. It hits you, and you're like, whoo, let me go pay this. Let me head on to the tag office. You need to be saving for your homeowners. This stuff is included. When your lawyer sits down with you and your mortgage brokers and stuff, they're going to be looking at all this stuff to make sure that these things are included. Okay. Let's
See,
see.
it's making it not as scary now that you know everything that's in there.
Right.
You know?
And there's a lot of hidden fees like mortgage points, the PMI, which PMI has a lot to do. That's a private mortgage insurance and maybe optional, but that has a lot to do with your down payment.
Right.
And just to let you know, you need to be saving anywhere from, I would say, to be safe, at least 40% of your closing, your down payment. Some people pay up to like 80% of homeowners, new first buyers, they're going to pay probably about 20% of their, down payment. So that's something else that you need to be paying for, because all this stuff, like I said, all this stuff is included. I don't know if you saw any of my short videos. I'm like, hey, if you're going to have somebody help you with closing costs, so it may be up there for you. There's another question, just a second. You want to make sure that you let them know, like, hey, you know, auntie or my grandmother or whatnot is giving me my closing costs, or she's giving me some money on that. But that's another topic. We'll maybe get into that later on. But you want to make sure you know about that. Attorney's fees. You handle more of the attorney stuff, so talk about the attorney fees.
Well, your attorney is basically the person that is looking over all of the mortgage documents to make sure that everything legally looks good. And most of these mortgage documents are, they're carbon copies of the last mortgage that they did. So usually, your attorney's just getting paid just to put his name on the thing. But y'all also understand that they're being held liable if there's something wrong in the legal paperwork. So it's important to get yourself a good attorney, somebody that and usually your broker is already working with an attorney. So you don't even got to look up nobody. But if you do have somebody that, what's going on?
I'm sorry, don't pay attention to me. I'll get to it in a second.
All right.
It's a comment.
Okay. But yeah, usually your broker, and that's the person that is setting up the money, is finding the money for you. So you got the real estate agent. They might work with a broker already, or you can find yourself a broker. We have a broker. If you go to goinsfinancial.com/partners, you'll see the brokers that we work with and the real estate agents that we work with. But they already have lawyers usually, and they have, their title person. Title fees are another cost. So your broker is going to handle all those fees for you. But just know that just because that's your down payment, there may be some more costs.
Right.
That's our bottom line.
Be prepared for it, because you're going to be ready to get those keys, and it may be that one thing that's holding you back. So another one, escrow. We hear escrow all the time, right? So escrow is basically a closing fee. In a sense, it helps. It pays the escrow agent that helps close your home, and that's something it's mandatory. Now it's going to be based on the purchase of that home, the price of that home. So that's where that escrow comes from. So that's that. You got any more that you can think of?
No, I mean, just in defining what escrow is, I mean, that's the people that just hold the money until this side is satisfied, this side is satisfied, then they exchange the money. That's all escrow is. If y'all want me to be an escrow agent, feel free. My Cash App is
Don't pay him no attention, y'all.
Never limits.
Let me get back to these comments, because he's going to get off track. So let me get back over here. So we had another question. When is the best time to invest in a home, and where?
Oh, yeah. Best time to invest in a home is when you can afford it. You want to have the best credit score that you can. We have fix and flip loans. We don't have private mortgage insurance. We have commercial loans for people that are property investors. But the best time is now. Right now. Do it now.
Right.
But in terms of the quarantine, corona, and all that, don't worry about that. You got to look at areas that are growing. Okay, you don't want to. I don't want to say some bum town out in just nowhere, because no one's moving there, so your real estate's not going to improve.
You want it to increase. Yeah, you want it to increase.
So you want to do some research. You can even just go to the county website, look at the population growth over the last year or so. Charlotte is like huge. I think 40 people are moving to Charlotte every day, so something like that, they're going to start investing more in schools, more in infrastructure, things like that. So Charlotte's definitely one of those booming areas. Of course, Atlanta's a booming area. And, there's also these small nuggets of places around universities. Anywhere where there's higher learning, there's going to be more jobs created and things like that. Look to see where companies are building headquarters at.
Right.
Charlotte's another example.
Amazon.
just came
Mhm.
out there. So these large companies, PPD in
That's what
Wilmington,
Wilmington is
yeah,
skyrocketing right now. I don't know
it's
if it's
huge.
hurricane money, but anyway, it's skyrocketing right now, especially downtown
Mhm.
places like that. So I
Yeah,
hope that
and
that answers your question.
yeah, just one more thing on top of that. You just
Mhm.
got to ask yourself, what is the purpose of it? Are you going to be living there for a long time? Are you just looking for something to fix and flip? In terms of where and when, so
It's
that's.
Erica. It's Cuzzo.
Cuzzo, oh Erica, what's up? What's up, Cuzzo?
So off to piggyback off her next question, her next comment is that basically she's in the process of appraisal right now. They got their own appraisers, but they price more than the other companies. I was laughing because that is typical. That happens. It's typical. And it's basically, I don't know if it's because maybe they're contracted with some of the the people that do the real estate or whatnot. But yeah, it's expensive. But I mean, it's going to be worth the cost. I know that probably doesn't soothe you that much, Erica, but honestly. Look, you'd rather have that appraisal done and you might be able to write it off later. I don't know the rules of that, so don't judge me on that one. We'll talk. But you want to make
She
sure
writes off everything. Let me tell you.
Don't get me in trouble. So, so you want to make sure you have that appraisal because you don't want anything to happen if you close on this house and you didn't get your own appraisal. If something comes up later, you don't want to have not done that. So just kind of, you might have to bite the bullet a little bit. Do a little bit of research. I know you said you already have one, but check some other prices. They do quotes too. So check some other prices and go with the lowest one, the one with the best quality. And, just do a little shopping around if you're in that position to do that. I hope that helps.
Right. And another thing, remember your attorney. You get paid.
No, I'm not saying stuff. Move in. We about to move out. We need something bigger again.
Yeah, our family is
again. Yeah, this Airbnb. What I say, Airbnb.
But if you got your own appraisal done and it's different from what they've got done, slide it by your attorney. Because maybe what they're going to end up doing is having you guys negotiate on one particular appraiser to use as third party. That's neutral to both. They want it higher. You want it lower. Just get somebody else.
It's like a tug of war.
It's a tug of war. Your attorney gonna help you negotiate with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we're gonna drop some other just really quick tips because home ownership is so crazy. There's so many things that go into it. So we have so many tips. You guys want to get our 8 secrets to home buying, even if your credit score is terrible. Okay, you can do that at goinsfinancial.com/new home and get the guide. Free guide. goinsfinancial.com/new home. All right. You got any other tips?
I just want to go over. I did tell you if you look at this, I told you you're going to get a freebie tomorrow. So those of you that are serious, I promise you, if you've been following, and keep following because I'm gonna keep dropping nuggets, keep dropping things on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you're following and literally get a notebook and write this stuff down, y'all. I'm not just throwing a bunch of mumbo jumbo out here. This is really serious stuff. So there's gonna be a freebie tomorrow. I'm gonna have it live tomorrow.
Do I get the freebie too?
You do, but you'll get the freebie to share too. But it's 6 essential documents that you need as a first-time home buyer. Okay, so I'm gonna drop that tomorrow at noon. I will make sure I put up a post. Plus, I'll drop it in the comments here in the IG world. You're gonna get it too. You'll see a link that you're gonna be able to do that. But listen, before we get out of here, I just want to tell y'all kind of the stages really quick for those of you that are ready. So number 1. You want to make sure, and I do have notes, so I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Number 1, you want to make sure that you start preparing those finances. Like I said, start budgeting. Get a handle of your money habits. I call it a money mood because you can be in Target with a whole vibe, with no list and a vibe, and be like, oh, I was supposed to be saving some money. Females, y'all know what I'm talking about. Queens, y'all know what I'm talking about. But listen, get a hold of your money mood. Like, just stop doing some of those things that you don't want to do. You're going to be on a struggle bus to get this house. I'm going to tell you, got to be on a struggle bus. Yeah. Because they're going to be watching you like a hawk. Yeah. Like, where did you spend $300 at? Where did you spend $1,000 at? You ordering furniture already? You don't need to be ordering furniture right now. They're going to be looking at everything, okay? So start budgeting, start getting rid of some debt, get that credit in order, get that stuff done. So number 2, you want to make sure that you pre-qualify for your loan. There goes shaking the table. Pre-qualify, y'all. Qualified. You need to find out when you sit down with your real estate. They're going to go through this process anyway. But if it don't come up, you need to say, hey, look, I need to see what I pre-qualify for. Why is this important? Because you're going to get excited, right? And you're going to go out here. You're going to be at every open house doing your selfies. Oh, I like this. I like that. but do you pre-qualify for the amount that house is? You need to know what that number is, and you need to be able to budget within that price range.
Mm-hmm.
Start watching those home finder things on HGTV or whatever it is, and start taking notes. Okay, they have to stay within a budget. You need to know what you pre-qualify for. Number 3, once you figure out what you pre-qualify for and you started budgeting, you need to go ahead and start zooming in on those properties. Now, I'm going to warn you, this is going to be an emotional journey. Okay, you're going to think you finally found the one, and your real estate agent is going to call you the next morning or that afternoon, and you're ready. You're like, that's it. We started packing.
Hey, sorry, but somebody else just.
We got a higher offer. And guess what? You got to put your big girl panties on, the big boy drawers on, right? And you got to do it again. Okay, well, let's go back to this other house. It was okay. I didn't like the fireplace, but and speaking of that, when you zero in on that, know what you want in your house, but know, what am I trying to say? Don't think you're going to get all your cake and eat it too. Don't think you're going to get all your amenities, okay? But what are you willing to sacrifice? Like, it's got a big yard, but I'm not going to get my fireplace. I'm not going to get my, crown molding, but at least I get this. You're going to have your mindset together when you do this, because it's going to be an emotional journey. You got anything on that?
That was
you
good.
Reminiscing?
The only thing I would say, yeah, because that was a journey. I was like, yes. Wait, no. Wait, yes. And see, what she said prior to that was get what? Pre-approval. You got to all around, up and down. But she was saying, like, get pre-approval, because when you go in there and you've got a letter that says, hey, I already got $200,000 in the bank, then you can go ahead and snap up that offer. And you don't have to wait to see if, looks good, what can we get, what can we not get? You go in there with cash in hand if you got pre-approval letter, and you're more likely to get that house without somebody else snatching it. Right.
So number 4. So just hold on through the whole process, okay? Because once you get that deal, once it's accepted, once the seller, say it's a seller, right? Yeah. And they accept that offer, right? You still got a little bit of topsy-turviness to go through, okay? It normally takes anywhere from 45 to 60 days for that whole thing to be settled, and you're good to go, okay? And during that time, hey, Mark, thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you're dealing, with debt to income ratio. They're already going to pinpoint it. If you're looking at all your stuff, you're going to know from the very beginning if you have a debt to income ratio, okay? That goes back to number 1. So just kind of hold on through that whole mortgage process, because it takes just a minute. Now, stage 5.
That's it. Let them tune in tomorrow.
Stage 5. This isn't in their notes.
That's not in the notes.
Stage 5.
Oh, this is the last one, though.
Right. You just gotta, coast through your. I need like a roller
coaster.
You
gotta Lupe that thing.
You gotta coast through your closing, because closing, when you finally get that call, like everything is done, all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted, all the money is where it needs to go. You're just waiting on that last phone call to be like, congratulations, you are now a homeowner. Just hold on. Just hold on.
Just hold on. Them days are coming. And the house that you get, you'll feel really grateful for, because all the things that you've been through to get it, but don't settle. Don't settle for something that you're like, I hope we didn't qualify for this one. I hope we didn't get you don't want that feeling, because you're going to be in that house for a very long time. So definitely don't settle, but be happy.
Right. And that's just, I'm gonna leave it alone because I can go in. But yeah,
it's been 30 minutes already. We've held their attention. We appreciate y'all for logging in. Follow our page, Goins Financial, and get that free guide at goinsfinancial.com/new home, so we can get you out of renting, out of living with your parents, out of living with your peoples, and into your own place.
How
so you can
to
start
get
building
those keys, okay? So speaking of getting those keys, next Thursday, this is what we have for y'all, okay? Next Thursday, we're going to be giving you all types of tips on how to boost your credit score, okay? Not necessarily, the credit, fixed part of it, but how to boost it, some trade lines, some different things that you can do to boost your score. And I don't know if you've been following, but there is a call that comes up every Tuesday, so make sure that you don't miss it, because you watch for that 800 call. So my friend out in Brooklyn, New York is going to do a phenomenal job at that call. You want to get on that call and take notes when you see it, how to get an 800 credit score, and then you want to make sure to meet us Thursday to get some more tips. So that's all I got. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you still have questions, inbox us anytime, either me or either him. It doesn't matter. On IG, Facebook, whatever.
That's right,
And
that's right.
that's it, y'all.
How can they find you on IG?
I am Alicia_Friday Goins with IG. So how would find you?
I am Jerry Goins. See how we did that?
It's the most
I copied
powerful
her, by the
words
way.
in the world. I am.
am.
So I need you to say, I am going to be a homeowner in 2021. I hope y'all have an amazing evening, and we will see y'all next Thursday.
All right, y'all. Peace out.